role playing. I'm Cracked Palantir, also known as Kevin Manus Pennings. I am the creator of the world, your host, game master, inventor, lover, hero. But we are joined, as always, for this episode of Brise's Tale by my good buddy Max, who is playing Brise the Paladin.
That I am. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We have 0 viewers right now, so we'll see. Get some regulars, hopefully. But yeah, well, welcome back, and hope you enjoyed. Hope you're here for last session, and if not, we'll give you a quick synopsis of what happened, and hopefully you'll enjoy what's happening this session.
Yeah, we certainly hope so. I was trying to find my little caption for you for newcomers. Oh, here we go.
About how beautiful Brise is.
Well, it's a part of it. Yeah, it's part of it. But yeah, and I guess I can go ahead and do things for our viewers if they want to check out any of the
post those links
for donations and also for his notes and character sheet, as well as his personality. Oh, interesting. It does seem to cut off one letter. I see. I can fix it.
Even with the bit.ly, it cuts it off. Maybe not on mobile, though. Maybe it doesn't cut it off on mobile for some reason. Who knows?
I see what it was. So it's I hit in the private chat that I used to store the links. It's one letter too long.
Oh.
So that's pretty funny. So yeah, so we're back with good old buddy Max for episode 5 of Brise's story. And how have you been, buddy? How are you doing?
Me? Well, yeah, Brise is not doing great, but I'm doing fine. Yeah. It's been good.
And we're all anticipating you're working on a number of fiction projects, and of course,
I am.
If you want to talk about sort of the things you discuss on your YouTube channel, which you'll see at the end of this. Although, if you want to post a link to that while we're waiting for friends and family to get their butts here,
sure, why not?
Yeah, so
why the hell not?
So give us a word or two about your own YouTube channel and streaming project.
Well, so I've always been pretty inspired by certain YouTubers, like one of them is Nitro Rad is one of my sources of inspiration. Cinemassacre is another one, with like Angry Video Game Nerd, people who like take games and don't just like review them, but who kind of dissect them or look at them from a different and unique perspective and have fun doing it at the same time. So I've always been interested in doing that in from a musical perspective. So, dissecting a game's music, or sometimes it's storytelling, just kind of whatever comes to mind. And also sometimes just posting some original music, original content, or compositions. Although that's kind of more for like SoundCloud, but YouTube's a good platform for that anyway, because you get there's plenty of that to go around. It's a good exposure in terms of musical artists on YouTube. So yeah, I can post that. I'm gonna say, put me on the spot here. Oh, I can't post in the chat. I'll post. I'll post it. I gotta go find the YouTube and I guess post it there on the.
No. Send it to me in private chat and I'll post it.
Oh, there you go. Boom. It's not there. Why don't you? And so yeah, I just I've always grown up with video games. Always liked them, and there's so much you could do with them. And you could take one video game, even if it's not a great video game, and dissect it from so many different perspectives. context and the history behind it, the people who made it, the story, the characters, the music. So I just try to do that kind of loosely and from a lot of different perspectives. So.
So yeah, so you guys, if you're interested in sort of analyses of video games from a musical or storytelling perspective, by all means, hop on over to Max's channel and take a look at the stuff that he's been working diligently to produce. He's also a prodigious fiction writer, and hopefully we will.
Prodigious is a strong word.
I think you're pretty prodigious.
Okay.
You're not
But
yet,
sure, for having a full-time job.
but and I'm excited for those projects to keep moving on, and of course some of the holdup is me. I'll be honest with you, I can't lie. So well, I mean, it's been a few minutes. Do you want to do the recap despite our lack of audience?
Yeah. Well, it's their loss, so they got to come in earlier. So,
that's right. They got to suck it up. So,
like you're asking me to do the recap, so now I need to find.
No, I can do the recap. It's fine. I mean,
no. Let me try so I can get better at it. It's a skill giving a synopsis of stuff. So started back in Alamar. No, it's too far back.
No, that's hilarious.
Just give a 1 hour recap.
Exactly. Maybe we'll finally have viewers, right? We'll just
by that time, yeah.
What do you mean filler? I resent the implication, honestly.
Actually, remind me, where did we start off the last session? Right after I left. Okay, I remember now. So 2 sessions ago, I had left Adabir's house in a little bit of a things didn't go so well. So kind of at a, what's the expression? Not loose ends, but it kind of came to a standstill, that route. So we were going to kind of lay off and come back when he was, him and his daughter were a little more willing to cooperate. His daughter, especially, who's very concerned for his health and doesn't want him to involve himself in anything that would be dangerous or kind of upsetting to him.
Because Adabir is very old and frail.
Yes, but very knowledgeable and very powerful and very passionate about this mission that we're trying to do. Luckily, on the way back from the house, I was intercepted by the groomsman Burra, who I had paid a little bit of coin to tell me if I was able to get back into the house without his daughter being around, maybe, and it turned out there was an opportunity right then. So even though we just had that episode, Adabir was willing to continue our conversation. It had calmed down.
Yeah, quite an explosion, because it was evident. It was evident to the wizard Lashwin, the female wizard who was quite knowledgeable about traveling to other worlds. It was obvious that you both weren't telling the truth, and she had been directly lied to by Adabir.
And again, that was 2 sessions ago, so
yeah,
but it's important to know the whole
right. And so the whole meeting just disintegrated when Brise accidentally let slip that thousands of lives may be at stake because of the unbeknownst to them, but the thousands of lives are at stake, and Brise knows that because the power of Verilag, this sorceress queen that is freed from her prison, could put the entire region at risk. And so the idea, of course, is that Falaglel did not know that that this was such a dangerous undertaking. And so, but nonetheless, they had a secret meeting, right?
Right. Also, Mark says hi and bye because he can't stay. So,
oh, Mark, hey, thanks for coming by. We appreciate it.
So yes, we had went to the back of the house, spoke with Adabir through the window. He is still very much willing to be a part of this, and will take care of things apparently with his daughter through somewhat deceptive means. I'm not gonna look too closely into what he's doing there, but it was decided that very soon we would take off on this journey to travel to or is it Southern Nargas, I think is the region.
Yeah, that's an
Yeah,
area north of them now.
right over here. Make the journey up here, which is quite a number of days of travel. Also, I was able to get his Adabir's permission to bring along my current romantic interest, a very handsome man named Aldruff, who works as a tailor in the city of Convergence. And so immediately after getting that approval, I teleport back to Convergence to tell Aldruff the good news because I had not seen him in quite some time, almost a whole week, I believe.
And then you spent now. So then you, how long? What did you do in the meantime before you got an answer from the family about whether they would release Aldrich to this new enterprise?
Right. So yeah, with the family was a little bit iffy about it. So I gave them some time to decide, even a couple days if they needed. And I just spent my time reading and learning some Dwarven language from the
Oh, that's right.
innkeep's owner, or the husband. Just took it very easy, about 4 or 5 hours of relaxing and reading and learning. So, and that's when Aldrich's sister came by near sundown and told me that the family approved of him going with me on this journey, which is a really interesting development.
Right. It's a huge development for Brise in the sense that I mean they really have hit it off and romantically, which we don't do a lot of in Karandrin. We don't do a lot of romance in Karandrin, but every now
Why
and
the
then.
population's so small.
That's right. That's right.
Everyone's aromantic.
But every now and then, if a character, just hits it off with an NPC, then it's a possibility. And I don't try to do a lot of. I want the game to feel very organic and very natural. And so, if it makes sense for them to pursue the romance, then they can pursue the romance. And if obviously the strange life of an adventure, puts too much stresses on that relationship, then it's not going to be practical and it'll end. What have you? And so this one so far has had its ups and downs in terms of whether there's a real future here given your life, but it's things have sort of come together, and now there may be this large move to the nation to the north, searching for the volcanic prison that holds the demon Kralum and powers the evil queen. Um, um, Powers the evil queen Verilag and her machinations to regain her position as a world power.
Right. And after that, we kind of just finished up the session with basically making preparations to depart very soon on this journey. So I've sent respective notes to respective people who I had business dealings with, and went back to Olden's library. This old elf who I invited to his library, but I'm not really supposed to bother him about it or even appear to him.
Right.
But I do have access to his library, and just trying to do some more research for a certain wizard named Prethnot that I can hopefully, leave off on good terms with them to maybe have a future favor before I head out of Convergence for good. So
Right. And that when you were at Olden's, that's the next day, right? Because you
Right.
basically
Right. Woke up at actually I'm trying to remember. I don't know, tea and loaf, and then just walked to Olden's outside of Convergence. So
What time of day do we have it now?
I said early morning, although I'm Midnight Dawn says Vera lag
Good,
with
good, good,
many
good, good, good.
G's, quite
Many
appropriately.
the old G, yo.
If you
That's
were
what
here
that
for
is.
last session or yesterday with Ganry, you would have known
Yes,
that the correct spelling of Verilag is with that many G's.
that's right.
They're all silent.
So you didn't teleport to Olden's? I thought you teleported to Olden's, but I can't.
Uh, well, no. I mean, how long is the walk? Is it more than?
It's a couple hours.
Okay, I would have walked. Yeah,
Okay,
probably
no, that's fine.
mine. Yeah,
Yeah,
because one, I didn't have a spot I really memorized at Olden's,
right,
and two, just it's not too far anyway.
right,
So I guess just mid morning then would be
right. So you're doing research, as you said, for this other female wizard, Prethnot, just sort of trying to gain her favor and sort of build that contact. And so this is just some stuff we rolled, sort of not really played. We just kind of rolled up the results of his research. He researched for a couple hours, uh, and I guess I should probably edit that one now because she's no longer considering helping you.
yeah, not at
Crossbow.
all.
But so tell us what you found in your research.
What I found. Well, I was specifically looking for information on either a tree called the hennerback, which is famous because it grows between, well, it's very large and also it grows between worlds. Somehow its roots stretch down and it'll spring up in another world. And then the second one is the runner's vine, which is a rare indigo colored herb that's extremely valuable and extremely hard to come by. And so, haven't found any information on that yet. But in about 2 hours of reading, I did find what is this? In a collection of tales on unusual botany, I found a story of a moving kelp / seaweed, which is off the south coast of a place called Sithis. SSITH ISS. Just love those double letters, don't you, Kevin?
You see that? You see that nation, that one standalone nation down at the tip, like it's you go, yeah, right there.
Yep.
So that is the sole nation in the Southern Wilds. That's the only one that's there, and that is the lizard people called the Sith. A name that I
That's
came up
right.
with long before.
I met one of them. Yeah.
And so Sithis is
Right.
their nation. They're very anti-magic, but they are a powerful naval influence in the world. Although, ironically, they themselves are not very good at ships. They usually hire mercenary crews. Um,
Right. And so I find about this moving kelp seaweed that has the power to like mesmerize or put sailors in a trance and basically make them fall off their ships into the sea in whenever they see it or somehow sense it. It's luminescent, and apparently it's has the name Bellwike
mhm.
by the native tribes. So an interesting plant factoid for all you botanists out there.
That's right. We were doing all kind of random facts last night. It was fun,
Yeah.
I gotta say. Um,
Did you know?
we were
It reminds you of C.S. Lewis, Paralandra, which is not a great book,
uh,
but it opens up with this really the world of Venus is an ocean with these islands of moving seaweed that's tightly interwoven. And there are trees and animals on these islands, but they go with the waves like up and down.
oh, neat.
And it's so cool. And then halfway through the book, he just goes on a theological rant about Satan and Eve, and it's like, okay, what happened to the cool sci-fi world?
Right,
Uh,
right.
Hi, Pooch Hugger. Welcome
Oh,
back.
hey, Pooch Hugger. Welcome back.
Um,
And yo to you too. Um,
yo.
And I'm getting texts from. They're just being completely silly here in my text. Um, so I'm getting texts from Karen's brother. But
Bro.
so
So yeah, that's
so we're
that-
around. Let's call it noon then. That you kind of just you're not a
okay.
big person as we know, and you just need to. Um, um, oh, Mark's in class. Oh, I see. That's why he had to go. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's good.
Oh my gosh.
But not that there's anything more important than Karandrin, but I guess other people have lives. So they brought you lunch. You're having to keep out of Olden's way, as you know, because Olden is extremely
Right.
eccentric. This elven owner of this library. Um,
Eccentric, and he seems to be kind of antagonistic towards anyone, even his own servants. So
yes,
definitely don't want to get in his way.
and so she's been Brise has been granted access to the library at least for one day, but the um, sort of the I need to find a better name for it, but sort of the head maid of the manor was very uncomfortable with Brise traveling alone at night, not knowing, of course, that Brise is more than capable of defending herself. But and so sort of secretly let her stay in a wing of the manor and let her sort of come and go as she wishes. So long as Olden doesn't know about it, then she's fine, and she's a little ashamed, of course, of Olden's inhospitable habits, uh,
Inhospitability.
inhospitality, lack
un
of
un unhospitable.
yeah, I don't know.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Was that a doobie doobie
Oh
doo?
no.
So you love it, you asked for it, you crave it. So yeah. So what is your plan then for the rest of the day? I mean, you might get the comeuppance to try to study more and see if you can finish the last half of those books. Although, admittedly, your hope is kind of waning on that point. You're halfway through, and you found
Yeah. Yeah.
very, very little. Not that the things you've found aren't interesting.
Right.
Um,
Right.
you
But
know,
not really what I came here for. Yeah.
right?
Well, I definitely want to keep researching for as long as I find it engaging. As long as my impatience will allow, right?
Right.
So I think I will keep doing that because I'm here at the library, and then we will move and instead do some either work on some of the other items in Prethnot's list, and there's a few ideas I had for those, or do some preparations for the
For the
journey
journey
upcoming,
itself.
gathering food, maybe going and getting a few bottles of wine, making sure my bedroll and torches and all those kind of mundane supplies are taken accounted for.
And we can wave a wand and have all that done, and just say it takes
Really,
this
what
much.
wand is that? What magic item?
Well, I will post that right now in
Please
private
do. I
chat.
want it.
Hang on.
I want that wand.
There you go. That's that wand right there. And
Okay, I
fuck
buy that
the
wand.
shut up. Fuck the okay. And so, so, roll for me.
Okay. I'm curious. Is there any? I rolled it. 18.
That's our boy right there with the Monster 18 going on. So yes, so you they sort of let you retire to uh, of tailoring club, breeches get stitches. Oh my gosh. Oh man, we're back to bad puns. This is going to be all over the place. Hi, Keeper. I hope you're doing okay. And So, um, um, so you find yourself, trying to get up to control your impatience and think about things. Roll and to stay focused. Roll again for me.
Sorry, stay what? Yeah,
That's hilarious.
that's a 70.
And what actually happens is you spend most of the day napping.
All right.
And so what wakes you is a tap on the door, and it's supper time, and you
Oh my
have
God.
just lounged away. You remember waking up several times and then just rolling over and going back to bed and just um,
I think you're self-imposing some of
my
your own
my
desires on Brise's.
my headachy life.
Exactly.
Like yesterday, I slept frickin' 16 hours.
Oh man.
Tried to wake up and tried to wake up and tried to wake up. So, Keeper is a Stegosaurus. Don't talk to her. That is hilarious. I don't know. I don't know why you chose a Stegosaurus. Um, I mean, if Keeper happens to be a guy, and I don't know. I mean, but if he or she happens to be a guy, then it could be a Stegosaurus. But whatever. I mean, whatever you need to do. So it's supper. Um, they bring you, nice bowl of hot soup and some bread. Um,
Thank you.
and you're not a foodie. You consume it; it's very food-like.
Excellent.
And um, given that you've sort of squandered the day like an idiot, I love like making things your fault, and that makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Um,
That
wh-
is my role, so I guess it's my fault, right?
do you want to give research another study, another try?
Well,
Uh,
if it's supper time, is the sun already going down? Or
yeah.
okay, yeah, yeah. I might as well give research one more shot, and if I just can't focus anymore, then I will um, leave a. Well, then I'll stay overnight, or I'll just head out. So let's give it one more try.
All right, roll it.
One more try. 51.
Yeah. All right. You've had enough break from that. Go back, roll again for me.
46.
46. You read for about another hour. You get through it. You sort of again you're skimming volumes.
Right.
Um, so this one deals with a lot of stories of unusual. Um, it's an attempt to catalog a lot of the plant life um, on the peninsula. You recall that's west of your position there.
And it's this erotic
Yes,
looking piece of land.
that's right. Can you remember to stroke the undershaft?
It's the Florida of Karandrin.
Well, it's funny. I will. My map that my file that has this. One of the layers, it has Georgia, Florida, and Texas in
Oh,
actual
right, yeah.
size, and in what is it called in proportion, to scale. That's the term I'm using. That's the term I need to scale to that. And so like Theaxia is about it's about two Floridas or two Georgias. That's what that is. So it's about
Yeah.
a little over 100,000 square miles. That's what Theaxia is.
That's one of my problems with fantasy worlds is I'll like, write a story. It's like, oh, this character went on a month journey to cross this stretch of land. And then what I end up describing is my continent is like this big. And I'm like,
Yeah,
like
right.
the size of France or something. And I'm like, how many
Right.
cultures and geography can you fit in that one piece of land? So
Right.
yeah,
I
that's a good tactic to
I
use.
yeah. To have those things, I have a like I've since my long life as a game master, I have collected lots of old maps, digital versions of old maps,
Yeah.
and so thanks, baby. So so I have a map of the Roman roads in
Oh, yeah.
France
Yeah.
and things like that. And it's surprising. It's surprising how I thought it would be a few roads, a few long roads, is what I kind of expected.
Right.
But no, it's much more intricate than that. It's quite a little spider web that radiates out. And I'll get old castle drawings, like from the era,
Yeah. Yeah.
things like that. And it's very interesting. Like you look at, oh, what is it called? Dang it. It's a term for the British government nowadays. It's used as an offhanded term for the British government. Like we say the White House did this, the White House did this, did that,
All
and
right.
so it's that type of metaphor.
Yeah.
Um, a house parlor maid. Um, um, okay, housekeeper is the head housemaid. Yeah, she's a housekeeper and then some. Yeah, I would say that's true.
Yeah.
Thanks, Midnight Dawn. But it was interesting. So so the British one at the time it was the largest castle in the world, and it was for one
Right.
of the big Henrys. And basically now it's been taken over by the British government. Those buildings are occupied, like the Ministry of Defense for Britain occupies a large part of. I think it's Whitechapel. I think it's what they call it. They say, "Oh,
Yeah.
we got to go talk to Whitechapel to see if that's going to work." And so I've got a map of that, and it's really cool because you would just have these sort of long halls, not hallways, but these long halls with rooms off to the side, and it would be this lord's apartment, and this lord's apartment, and this lady's apartment, and this
Right.
lady's apartment, and
Right.
then in between the halls, you would have like this would be all a green with like tennis courts and
Yeah. Cool.
polo
Answer.
or all these sort of games in between. Their apartments opened out into the hallway, but also into the green, and so it was just room after room for people. It was really interesting, but it just sort of shows you sort of the purposes that castles could be put to,
Right. Right.
um, which is not entirely off topic. I'll have you know.
Close. We reined it back in.
We reined it back in.
Right.
Um, so this volume, you're just sort of skimming. You're looking for anything that
Think about rare, unusual herbs or trees that cross worlds.
right, anything that just can help her. But of course, anything you find noteworthy, we're just going to tell you anyway
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
course of the research. So in the course of an hour, um, um, you find a plant. It's a low growing vine with sort of large heart shaped leaves, very dark heart shaped leaves. It tends to grow in the mouth of caves, and they call them blade blossoms. And it has the ability to suddenly lash around prey's leg, and the leaves can stiffen to razor sharpness. And so it apparently survives by enriching the soil with blood and flesh. Oh, look, Obi-Wan's on. Hello, Karen. Always happy to see her. Um, um, so, so that's all you find. It's interesting, right? But it's not, of course, everything you had hoped for in
Right.
terms of. Um,
Let me just finish writing that down here.
yeah, sure.
Stiffen.
Um, So, how is everyone doing today on chat? Is everyone having a good day? We all rocking it? What's the deal? Let's hear some status reports on people. Thumbs up, thumbs down. What's going on? Anytime, Obi-Wan.
Don't be shy. Maybe they're just typing a lot of information.
They're right. We're gonna get a full report here. I know if Quinn were on right now, he would be saying, "Well, here's the shit going on with me at the hospital," and you know.
Well, if people are typing that, so I guess I get that after an hour. I'm like, you know what, I'm done. I don't really mind staying the night. Well, where's the sun then? Are we pretty much at sundown? Kind of the day's pretty much done, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's now dark. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just try to fetch the. I already forgot the term we used. Housekeeper. And
yes, the housekeeper. Pooch, I love you too. You know I love all my peeps. I have to especially say hi to Obi-Wan because we don't see each other that often. Huh? Eh? Huh? For those of you who don't know, that's my wife.
So yeah, I'll find her and or ring for her and just ask if I could, it's not too much of a burden. Could I stay the night? And
there's always somebody by, standing by.
Right. So just ask them.
Yeah, just say, could you secure me permission to stay the night? Would you see if that's not an inconvenience? They run, they go back, roll for me.
Exactly. 13.
The master is in a particularly foul mood. But if you don't have company planning on taking you back, then we'll find a place to keep you. It may have to be servants' quarters because he never goes up there.
Well, yeah.
And this,
I don't want to sleep in servants' quarters.
I'd
rather. I'm Brise. I come from some merchant family.
Yeah, you're pretty upper class.
It's like I'll tell them. It's like I can. I guess it's a lie, So I'll see how I can pull this off. But just say, I have a way to get back to Convergence. It'll be inconvenient, but I have a person nearby who could house me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just tell them it's like, well, actually, I know someone that's nearby. It's.
I have housing that is not. That will take me a very little while to get there. Yeah. Why don't you roll for me?
Yeah, it's a very short distance. 76.
Okay, well, you got away with a lie. Good job. Not that it mattered. You were lying to the lesser maid, so. Oh wow. Well, I guess we are getting a biography from Midnight Dawn now about how she's doing. That's great. But yeah, so I guess you just sort of pack up and head out.
Yeah.
I guess I ought to consider rolling for.
But one other thing before I leave, I would ask: is it possible to? Well, I've already asked the housekeeper this to leave a note with Olden with some requests, and just best case scenario, he takes an interest in it and answers me back.
And what type of requests were they?
About the Hennerback and the.
Oh, to ask him specifically.
Exactly. Yeah. If I can't find it in his library, maybe he knows off the top of his head.
Another source. And so how long? So she might have asked, depending on how long ago you had brought that up. So remind me when you first brought that up.
It was this morning when I got here.
It was this morning. It's been a full day.
She was taking me to the library, and I'm like, hey, by the way, would it be possible to, you know, if my research isn't successful, if I could leave a note with him.
Um, the housemaid herself, the housekeeper, she comes to tell her yourself. She's and she's like, I have not had a chance to to find him in a mood that I could put those two questions to him. But rest assured, I will, Lady Brise. I will. I promise.
Wait, which? Oh, okay. Each of the two questions are the two things. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'll ask her. I mean, yeah. Just I don't know if it'll aid the cause. Just to when I tell her this, if it'll aid the cause. Also mention it's for the purposes of the study of magic.
Oh, I see.
Because he was. I've heard secondhand that he was Olin himself is interested in magic at least.
You're sort of working on behalf of a wizard in town. Would you
Yeah,
put it?
yeah.
Okay.
That's a better way to put it. So
I
just tell
look
her
like
to tell
I
him.
look like a vampire. That's what Midnight Dawn said. I produce sons for at least 30 minutes a day to enhance your complexion. Are you saying I'm pale and a parasite also? Because both are true. I'm just asking what you mean. Um, she's like, she looks at you, a little strangely, just because, magic isn't her thing. Oh, and she, uh, she, she says, but I'll certainly, I'll bring it up. Um, uh, no problem. And it may persuade him. And I hope to have an answer for you. Do you know when next we'll see you?
Probably not for a long while. If you could leave word at the inn called the Tea and Loaf.
Oh,
That
so in town you want to specify because
exactly.
that'd be country inns as well. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah. There's an inn in town that I frequent, and if you leave word there, I'm sure I would come across it sooner or later.
right.
And could I offer a few coins for the cost of delivering a message that far? Of sending out the servants. So, and
Um,
I'd be willing to pay, for whatever cost that would be.
she said certainly. That's very. Hey Blaze, welcome back. Um, she's like, yeah, that's more than fine. That's quite generous of you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give her bronze. Probably be
Yeah.
good for that. Yeah.
So that'll give her a couple coins probably to pocket. So
Exactly.
um,
And she's been a good woman.
yeah,
Good friend.
she doesn't
I was a
like.
good friend, but not really a friend. Just she's really good at her job.
Well, what's so funny is like she would have probably, if you were a guy, she would have kicked you out, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like, right, well, you can take care of yourself. But once, I mean, being a young lady on the road in the dark, she's like, no, I can't have that. That's not proper. That's not safe. Oh, excuse me, Gag. Got about 3 hours of sleep last night, so we're gonna make this work. I promise. So, um,
Right.
that's
Add
right.
that to my.
Blaze's good luck charm. That's Blaze is your good luck charm. That's the
Oh,
boy
that's right. Hey, Blaze.
that if you roll. So
All right, I want to attack Holden.
that's right.
Oh,
While
my good
you
luck charm is here. I can
that's
do
right. Oh,
whatever.
don't forget your miracle roll. There's your reminder.
Yeah.
Um, and so you just head back. And do you plan on teleporting?
I
Or
do.
huh?
I do
Okay.
plan on teleporting.
So just sort of clear the way. Of course, being dark now, the majority of the poor families that generally are working and harvesting the nuts and berries and fruits that line the drive. Oh, sorry, Gag. Whew, catch it up to me. They're long gone, um, and so you just sort of find a place when you get to the end of the road. You sort of just tuck into the woods and This is going to be Brise teleporting, as Midnight Dawn has already mentioned, into a wall. And so, if you feel like doing a drum roll, then give us a drum roll. And then we'll have Max roll here in just a second. Can I get some drum rolls? Come on, brothers. Oh, there you go. There you go. You should shake them right by your mic. Oh, there you go. That's very clear. Man, you can hear that. Man, no one gives a damn about your success. Look at this.
All right, Cuddles, that's good.
Oh my,
24.
24. See, guys, you let him down. That's terrible. No, it's a successful cast, not your best cast. Cost you a few extra exhaustion points. Let's say 12 instead of the normal 10. Easy money, Karen says. That's what we need, by the way.
Easy money.
Please donate to the stream also, because we could use some easy money. Um, so,
I don't know why you can. This is not easy.
and playing my game is never easy. It's stressful, and since we got some new folks on, I'm gonna see if I can drop. Let me see. Let me see. Keep it streaming. All those seem to be intact.
Preserved.
Let's see. Oh, interesting. So so you make it a roll to aim.
Oh yeah, got to do that. Oh, wait, is that a 99?
Oh, nice.
And 59 on top of that.
All right, that's 158. What's the what was your destination there?
Anywhere to Kralum, the volcano. No, to the inn, to the back alley of the Tea and Loaf.
Boom. So no problem. Roll again for me. Just a little orientation roll when you
56.
arrive. 56. Little out of it. Little sort of gathering your wits. Definitely some motion around you. Yeah, there were definitely people back here smoking and having a talk. There were 4 individuals here. It looks like half of them saw you just pop in a flash right in, and they're just staring at you. The other 2 are kind of wondering, looking at these guys, at what's going on. Their crates overturned that they were using. Seats and things, and they've spilled drink on themselves.
Walk away without even a moment's notice.
Without any fanfare. Just see ya.
Just the less people who need to know about that, the better. So.
That's right. That's right.
And definitely turn my face away as quick as I can, and then get out of there.
So,
hopefully, they don't follow me.
Wait, I got my die wind up cockeyed. Yeah, there's no real interest in following you, but there's a lot of hush talk and alarm talk behind you, and you just sort of make your way steadily, turn the corner.
A sticky note in the back alley saying, "This is my teleport spot."
Exactly.
And then people who gather there are like, oh, someone's gonna, even if they don't know what teleport is or magic is, it's like they're just gonna be like, stay away from that. I don't know what that means.
Exactly. Just write like angel landing zone, right? And they'll immediately associate it as a positive thing.
Right.
And
stay here to see a beautiful woman appear before your eyes. A crowd of like guys there.
And that's when you teleport a luck to there, and luck to and
Yeah.
mine is bigger than yours, and he just eats them. And so that's
Some fellows there.
so head to the tea and loaf, I guess, right? You could probably
Yeah, I
send.
mean it's late. I'm probably kind of tired. Again, I'm looking through
That's
stuff. I will leave a message for Iron. Just go to the innkeep and tell them, listen, if someone named Iron comes here, he's a coachman for a woman named Prethnot, and tell him that tell him that research is still ongoing, and
he takes out pen and paper.
Yeah. Generally along the lines of that the Olden with the library, the botany library, is still looking into the Hennerback and Runner's Vine. I guess just might as well just tell them that the names. Yeah.
That's right. Oh, hey, Quid. Hey, man. I hope you're doing better, buddy. I'm glad you could join us tonight. I know you and I both slept 16 hours yesterday, and then last night I slept none. So
having a competition here or something?
We're just having a terrible back and forth. So everybody send Quinn well wishes, and tell him to get better soon. So Quinn, get better soon. But my chatters, send it out to him. Send out love to him. And then next on our agenda will be Charlie as a shrimp boss.
Next on the agenda.
But
you need bots to automate these things, Kevin.
I do.
I guess it's not from the heart, though. If it's
that's right. If it's what? Weird. So you head in. He's like, "Oh, I know. Yeah, I know Mr. Iron. Sure.
Really?
He's been in there a few times.
Okay.
I mean, he asked about you. I didn't tell him anything. He was just
okay.
He was sort of asking like what company you keep and that sort of thing. And I just told him, I'd only seen you around good people, just the priest, that priest fella that's been in here, and so on. And he seemed to know that guy. And so
when was this? How many days ago? Because if this is before the meeting or after the meeting with him, I guess probably after, right?
He's been in here several times, but I don't know. It's been a while.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So sounds like to you it was before,
right?
Your first meeting with, it was after Claren got in touch with her.
Yeah. Okay. No, I mean, that's all well and good. Thanks for keeping my name. What's the phrase there? Making me look good.
I don't know. I mean, because if he's being honest, then what thanks does he need? But you say appreciate the heads up. I mean, I guess you could.
Well, yeah, I guess that's what I mean. Is thanks for just taking care of that.
Yeah, and so.
And so I'll just tell him on the note that the elf Olden is still looking. Because how do I say it? Like research is still ongoing at the library.
At Olden's.
Yeah, at Olden's library. So, okay. just a way of saying I haven't found anything yet.
Sure,
and I don't think I'm going to find anything, but more
Yeah,
And
more
the hopeful way to say that is
right. Yeah, sir.
research is still ongoing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Just
We're
leave
still-
off the bad stuff. This is all a PR moment for you. This is the birth of PR in Karandrin.
yeah,
Uh,
really,
the birth
really.
of spin, right? What now? You don't have much of the evening left before we roll on to the.
Well, we can if it's not too busy, can we do some language practice?
Oh yeah, he's got that
Dwarven?
extra help now that you've paid for. So
Yeah.
sure enough, you um, really are engaged and focused. It's using a different part of your brain, and it's easier to hang on to. And yeah, so you guys go and practice speaking Dwarven in a corner of the inn for an hour and a half, and you thank him for his time, um, and probably close to bedtime now. Um,
So two things. One, it's funny that I'm learning Dwarven. I'm going to be like going further away from the Dwarven territory.
Not especially. I mean, only by a few miles will you be really
Sure, I
because
guess.
this is the this corner that you are living in now borders Nargaz and Avalar, and
Oh,
Avalar
that's
is a
right,
dwarven
Avalon. Okay,
nation.
it's still going to be in the mountains. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Good. The other thing was, am I also learning writing from him, or are we? How are we considering that? Or
sure.
he said he can also help me with writing, but I would prefer just practicality, and Brise would probably prefer is just learning the language first, learning to speak it well. You know,
Okay.
'cause that's
Well,
more.
that's fine. If that's, I mean, um, what I'll probably do is give you, well, for our more mechanically minded people, I'll give you a rank one in written, and what that means is that you can recognize dwarven characters. You'll know, okay, that sign is dwarven. I may not know
That's
what it
Dwarven.
says,
Yeah.
but I recognize that those characters must be in the dwarven language.
Right.
And
Right.
so, um, and so,
Actually, yeah, a really good analogy for that is like the different kind of Eastern Asian languages like
yeah,
Thai and Korean. And after you've seen them like enough times, you're kind of like, I know what that is. No idea what it says, but I know,
yeah,
I know the language. Yeah,
right.
that's funny.
There's what is it called? Like, I don't know if you've ever gone to a doctor's office or a hospital or anything, that they'll have sort of a language card up. It's so that you can select your language and tell them that you need an interpreter for it.
Mm.
And there's this language whose characters are the written language of it. The characters are sort of these really interesting round characters. They're almost all like sort of parts of circles or whatever. And I think the language is one of the South Pacific islands. I think it's called Tagalog.
Tagalog. Yeah. Yeah.
What
That's
is it? Say it again.
Tagalog.
Tagalog.
Yeah.
Okay, well, fantastic.
I have a friend who is from Saipan, and she knows a little bit of Tagalog, a few words here and there, because her parents are, full Filipino, and
Yeah.
that's a language that's spoken in parts of the Philippines,
Okay.
is in other Pacific islands. Yeah,
Yeah, I just find the characters there. I just find really interesting.
yeah, they're all like squiggly.
Yeah, and there's a rounding to almost everything, and
Yeah.
it's really interesting.
It's like the opposite of Cyrillic.
Yeah, right.
So stiff and like blocky.
Um, so
Also, thanks. I can't see the chat too much, but let's keep things on topic. Kind of. A couple jokes are fine, I guess. I can only see the top like 3 chats, but I just see kind of what's people are.
pouncing on each other. Is that
I
the
guess I don't know. we don't have a moderator, so
right? We don't have a moderator.
self-moderated.
I can moderate. I can actually do moderation, but it's weird though. I can only do it through YouTube. I can't do. You know what? Maybe it's because it's a YouTube chat, but yeah, I can block people's.
Yeah.
Um,
So behave yourselves. You're gonna get blocked by Kevin.
that's right.
That includes you, Karen.
That's right. I'll make Karen a moderator.
Okay. So yeah, but going back to what I was saying is, if it's more expedient to learn just the spoken language, else,
Well, of
However,
course, he's no expert in teaching. That's the weird thing, right? He doesn't know what
right, right. And
practice.
so I guess it's more of a mechanical thing. Is like, would I learn faster or learn more? Just focus on speaking without augmenting writing. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I imagine I could see him just sort of bouncing back and forth between the two.
Right, that's what I kind of thought anyway, because they probably go hand in hand.
Right. And like he's just so, yeah, they're so connected in his mind. Now, had he not known one or the other, well, then you would have no problem there because he can't help but teach you one. So, um, yeah, um, so yeah, the lesson goes well. You actually really enjoyed it,
Nice.
things are kind of winding down. You're probably sick of reading, so I don't know if you just
Yeah,
want to
I'm
crash for the night and we'll
gonna go
roll
up.
through.
I am. I'll sit up for a little bit just in case the Trinidas might make an appearance. Although
Oh, because right, it is the
it is, yeah.
ninth.
But like we said, that I don't know if that's thrown out of whack now because of what happened to the Philistines. So I'll just stay
Right,
up, try to keep myself awake for a little while, until I just really start nodding off. Then I'm like, okay, I'll just go to bed.
right.
Um,
Um,
just kind of thinking to myself, I mean, we'll say in this time I'm thinking of what I'm going to say to Verilag when she appears to me.
right.
I still haven't.
Speaking
If
of, I
she
gotta
appears.
check because I have them on a schedule. I roll well ahead of time.
That's what I'm scared of.
Yep.
Also, let me catch up on my notes here. Even though for
Oh yeah, I need to erase this. In fact, so like prior to you, like on my sort of, like these are independent agents. You know what I mean? Um,
yeah, yeah.
the blood of the unworthy. That's fantastic, Quinn. And so he was actually gonna try to beg a visit from you. Aldrich was,
Oh, okay.
because he was just too impatient to wait on you. He was just too eager to see you, and so
Thirsty.
and so he, yeah.
Is thirsty a term that was around by now?
I don't know what
I
I've
think it
seen
was.
people use that in unusual ways recently. I don't know what it means. Um,
Really? It, I thought you might have been joking. Yeah, thirsty is just like yeah, like kind of just aroused, wanting to get at that person,
oh,
romantically
interesting.
or more often sexually. So,
Oh, I got you.
and then most often it's used ironically. It's like, hey, you're really thirsty.
Oh, I see. I got you. Yeah,
Or-
no, it's not one I'd heard,
yeah, okay.
because I just used the term horny and I let that be done with it.
All right, and thirsty is kind of like more. It's kind of funnier, I think, because it's less direct.
Right,
'Cause it's a synonym
right.
for another word. So
Roll to stay awake for a bit.
sure. 15. Man, I'm really tired today. What's going on?
You really are. But let me tell you a wonderful way to be woken up, and that is by the keep up with the slang, son. Where's that comma, Quinn? Slang, comma, son. Come on now.
Yeah.
But everybody's been dropping that lately. It drives me crazy. But uh, the one of the beautiful ways to get woken up in Karandrin is by the multi-choral voice of the Trinitas. And so you wake with this phrase over and over, which is daughter of man, daughter of man, daughter of man. And you just wake to this, and it's really lovely and gentle. And you come to, and there are the dynamic duo of one of the flower people having transported through their network of portals. We don't know exactly. Um, to um, to to your room, and So there, the Trinidas are at least a member of them, and they are, sitting on your knee. You're sitting up in a chair, having nodded off, um, and wake, and you feel, like I said, it's, I mean, you're startled, but it's in like a good way.
Hmm.
And um, and they say, "We hope you have been well."
I have been, yes. Thank you.
What news do you have?
And well,
And
you know what?
every
I'm
month.
honestly, if it's not rude, I want to turn the tables. Like, actually, I'd be really comfortable hearing what's happened in the valley on your end first. Um,
That is understandable. After Aluktu's destruction by Verlag, which apparently the Philistine did not observe, uh, given that they were already in, um, were already scattered by the demon Aluktu. Um, they now seek counsel with one another in hiding,
hmm.
but the consensus is overwhelmingly that Verlag caught wind of their plan
Oh,
and struck a blow. Um, and while their anger is greater, um, they are at a complete loss as to what to do. Um, Now there is talk of concentrating all the forces of the valley, even the scouts, to be able to withstand her next attack.
hmm.
It seems that your idea might have checked the Philistine threat for the foreseeable future.
Well, that is the best news possible.
It really is. I mean, it really is it really couldn't have turned out better. And I actually had rolled this last session and just made a note of it. That, yeah, I mean, it worked hook, line, and sinker. Like,
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
um, and how long that'll stay
Or
in
it
there.
was a little too well, as we said.
Well, yeah, it's a little frightening that the degree of destruction that he wrought. But um, I'm gonna close these things. I'm marking up my. Um,
So
but
we'll then tell them on my end, that I've not seen or heard of Verilag. So perhaps she's also, fooled or busy with her own things, um, to care about where that demon came from.
And
Uh,
really, you think, I mean, particularly given her sort of arrogance and haughty nature and temper, that, I mean, she would be on you like a thunderbolt if she believed, you know.
yeah, yeah, it is. It's true because it's well, yeah, that's I don't want to derail us too much, but me as a player, I encounter her so rarely, like once every 4 months of play, right? So I kind of like forget sometimes what is her personality. I remember she's
Yeah.
mean and angry, but that's true. She is very very direct. As subtle and as deceptive as she is like if something is in her way, she's kind of like me. She's just gonna go and tackle the problem, like
Well, if it flaunts her power,
right, exactly. If it's
yeah.
something that
And
seems
if
to
it,
come
if
up
it's
against her,
right, and if especially like if she feels deceived and so on, there, it's like there seems to be a lack of self control.
right?
Okay, if she feels sort of fooled or foolish, made a fool of, mocked in any way, she seems to have a real weak spot there. Roll for me.
42. The
And
meaning
so,
of life, the universe, and
it,
everything.
so it occurs to you, the question is, can you use that in some way to find a power greater than hers which for the moment at least might be possible, and then somehow get that greater force to come against her, using her own vanity and anger at being tricked or whatever. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
we really are talking about forces that are well beyond your scope. I mean, things like literally like dragons is what we need here.
Right.
That certainly is the first thing that comes to your mind. But you're like, the last dragon on the mainland that was seen, most people believe was a dragon north of Alamar, actually, and the city of Alamar, and is believed to live in the Great Fern Marsh north of Alamar. And so um,
Right.
um, it does punctuation doesn't exist on the interwebs, kiddos. Let's eat kids. That's fine.
And I love how he says that, and then he puts an exclamation point at the end.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, hmm.
And also actual and not just wannabe grammar Nazis, but actual book editors like this guy. But um, um, but still, it's sort of it's a weakness you can exploit should you
Right.
find an opportunity.
Right.
Um,
Something presents itself, kind of like a luck to it just kind of fell into my lap, and it's like,
right,
maybe I could use this against her.
right. So
So I'll continue telling them about developments with Lashwin, that in a few days she is willing to open up a portal to teleport me into a world that she knows um, uh, that is just like this one, and that is habitable, and that I could remain in, um, safely. And so that is definitely an avenue we have, and that's been secured. But on the other hand, we are also um,
moving
undertaking,
forward.
undertaking the journey to combat Verilag herself by removing the demon Kralum. So that journey starts very soon.
Right. Um,
And I'll tell them that, like, I'll be outside of Convergence, possibly going further from the valleys. So the valleys that you occupy.
she, the Trinidas turns to the flower uh, person who's there, sort of hovering in the room, and lights over to them. And there's a sense of communication between them.
Mm.
Um, and and the Trinidas turns again to you and says, "Where will you be in this new place? How could I describe it?" And I mean, the
Oh,
basic answer would be, of course, it would be the mountains to the east.
yeah. I don't know, what do they say? How could they describe it? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. The mountains to the east, goblin lands, um, on an estate,
um,
wealthy estate.
the Trinidas turns to you, still sitting on the flower person, and says, um, "They are confident that they can find you. You are part of them now, and um, they are still willing to go that far, though they say it is really not that far."
Um, right. It's not that far. Okay. So that means we can keep in touch. That's
Yeah.
excellent. One thing I want to ask them, and this might be Miracle Roll territory here, is
Yeah.
that it's obvious as we get closer to Kralum that whatever Verilag might grow suspicious of whatever I'm doing. Again, I remind them that I'm trying to feign innocence, and feign loyalty to her.
Right.
So, is there any magic or protection that you could offer that would help? I guess I don't know what the right word is. So, like being around you and receiving your blessings has helped hide me from her, made it harder for her to locate me, which is one very helpful. That is helpful in and of itself. If there's something like that could be more permanent or more surefire to hide from her presence.
Were you to stay in our valley and stay in the place we prepared for you, we would have some chance of hiding you entirely. Not a guarantee, but some chance of hiding you from her detection.
Right.
But as I am reminded more about what it is to have the life of a human, I fear that you would find it no better than captivity. And while your lives are short, still the days would seem very long to you. Why not then take the wizard's offer and pass immediately into the portal?
Not this again. Because there's much I love in this world. And I would, I'm one who would rather take care of my own problems than run away from them like a coward.
And you guys can all tell that this is Brise speaking and not Max, because that guy is a coward. I mean, if he would ever hear me say that, he'd be furious. But
yeah. But I mean, it is true though. Brise is very ambitious. Comes from wealthier family. Doesn't seem like someone to, and is also in love with someone. Like,
right.
Early first kind of romance.
Right.
Would you in your first crush say like, I've got to never see you again?
That's it's tough. I mean, that is certainly a tough call, right? Because you are so besotted.
Right. And I'm 18 years old too. So kind of in that, that's kind of not all I care about, but definitely weighs much more heavily in my mind.
Right.
Practical matters.
Right. It is. I mean, it is as real and weighty as the fate of the world.
Exactly.
Yeah. No problem. They seem to take it very deeply in, and they say, then you have chosen the best reason to stay. Well, we will find you when next we speak. We'll find you wherever you may be, as discreetly as we can. Shall we meet now every 3 days?
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that, especially if we're going to be traveling.
Right, and this is
mellowed out.
This is the night of the 9th, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it'll be.
It's midnight. It's like, wait, what?
Right. Now you're going to be. Now you're not going to know when they're going to show up. Because tiny 1-inch fey deer are terrible at telling time. All right,
they really are. I mean, look, they showed up at like way past dark.
Yes, they did.
Morons.
All right, that goes on my little schedule of free agents that interact with you.
Neat.
Um,
I just thought, let me write something down, and then I gotta send you a thought here.
are you going to send me a private chat
No,
about?
no, just tell you a thought that I had. You'll meet every 3 days.
True that, Quinn. That's true that.
Cool.
Teen drivers have the same rate of accidents as drunk drivers because they literally have less belief in their ability to be harmed, and
Oh,
especially
younger drivers.
teenage boys,
Oh yeah,
especially, but also teenage girls. That era of our life, we literally have a hard time. We literally have a hard time believing that it's even possible for us to be hurt.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Um, right. So what I was going to mention to you is the. Do you remember the bird that I came? Oh, I got to remember the name. The bird with snake tails. Or no, it didn't have snake tails, did it?
no, but just very long pinions,
Snake-like tails. Yeah,
very long pinions at the back.
yeah. So you do remember that
Yes.
bird did a fantastic job of hiding itself and me from Verilag.
Oh, it did. It really did.
It
Verlag
didn't.
was
It
feet
didn't seem to
away.
have like a great idea of communication. Like it was intelligent, but we couldn't. Though there was a language barrier.
Right.
But like, wonder if that could find that or call to it or have it accompany me or that would be
But
interesting.
you sort of somehow recruit it.
Right, right. It might be worth. God, what if I just teleport back to the town of Breneloth and try to scout it out and I don't know communicate with it of what I'm trying to do.
Man, but God, the concepts that you're trying to.
Yeah, and it
I
did
don't
seem
see
very.
a.
So then the next thought about that is, what if there's spells to communicate with creatures, like a
Oh,
talk,
exactly.
talk with? I have my find familiar. I don't know. I don't think that'll work. Find familiar ring. It needs to be smaller than me. But
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, wow. Yeah.
think about that now, and
Well, and it has to be a non-magical creature, and we're pretty convinced. Pretty convinced that thing is
yeah.
magical. And
So it'd probably be
although,
some kind of spell to speak with magical beasts, maybe.
right, certainly it is certainly no friend of evil, though. Jeez,
Right.
I mean, it's like
Right.
it's like the
Yeah,
rat.
it was the giant undead monster. This bird, which I still can't remember the name of, it just went all out, like assaulted, like a barbarian in D&D, reckless, frenzied rage on this undead creature, just so
Yeah,
upset by it.
undead giant, essentially. I mean, the thing
Yeah,
was like 15, 20 feet high. Um, yeah, I really like that. I really like that undead. I like the bird too. We call it broadly a priest bird.
Oh, that's right, priest bird. Okay,
A
it was the
priest bird.
general term. Yeah,
That's what Crowlem told you they were called, and said, I can't get near that damn thing because it will
yeah,
just, I
yeah.
mean, it'll destroy whatever body I'm occupying because it is. It
What
is.
if I'll throw out the idea of the priest bird to the Trinidas and the
Oh,
flower?
that's true. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's like there's a bird that's I encountered once, and it uh, managed to hide me willfully from Verilag's presence very successfully.
you describe them and so on. And
Yeah.
um, there are a number in the hills. It is true. These priest birds. It is a shame you cannot understand them. Their language is truly beautiful. But they are very mercurial in whom they choose to protect, what duties they undertake. Once undertaken, of course, they commit wholeheartedly, often to their death. Um, what did they call the bird? It's a priest bird, Obi-Wan. Priest bird. Um, Sort of like a large pheasant-shaped bird. I mean, very large, like 5 feet from.
Large enough to carry me, carry
Right.
a 6 foot human.
Uh,
Yeah.
and don't say the word. Oh, the bird. Bird is the word.
That's the word.
No, but it's a priest bird, and um, helped Brise when she was exploring the abandoned town, the ruined town of Brenneloth, an ancient dwarven town from dwarves long dead, and she was able to communicate with it, sort of, and it kind of would get the gist of things. And um, it is it is just a creature that seems to have an absolute revulsion for the evil and unholy, um, and um, and its power is considerable in terms of just the ferocity of its physical attack. Um,
I'd be careful if I took one with me to the mountain. It suddenly just takes off like and tries to attack like Kralum. That would also be a way to maybe find Kralum.
yeah, if you want to kill the priest bird, that's excellent.
I mean, one priest bird for thousands of lives.
No,
They said they're all in the hills. There's plenty of them in the hills.
now
They don't
Crowlum
need-
has made multiple suggestions about, well, what you could do is let it massacre this whole town. Like he was, he's the cutthroat one who's like, well, what we could do is feed this people into a meat grinder because that gets us one step closer to our problem.
Exactly.
Um, oh, excuse me. And so the priest bird helped Brees a great deal. Um, oh, that's hilarious. Um, and have an affinity for children, right, Quinn? And so we're back to Catholic jokes, but so the priest bird also completely shielded Brees from detection by Verlag, uh, from sight, from sound, from magic, apparently. Um, and even with Verlag standing just a few yards away. And that was remarkable. And so is there some way to recruit one of these? And it seems like the Philistines say, no, it's just so mercurial a creature.
Right.
Um,
Even if they did say. I mean, I'll ask them. Even if I was able to communicate with one, somehow, it'd still
well,
be.
the Trinidad say we can convey your problem to several of them with the help of the flower people transporting us. We could find them. That's not a
Okay.
question, but to relay it third person is not the best way to have them make a decision. They are not the rashest of beasts, and they want to feel a connection to their cause, and you will not be there to give them that.
Right. But what if I was? What if I could find a way to communicate with them and talk to them? Or is that worthwhile looking into? That's my question. It's like, remember, I have magic. I'm not.
What would your ultimate plan be? That is, let's say you find one who is willing to help you. What role do you think it would serve?
Let's say Verlag is very intelligent and would have obviously set up possibly even a way to detect when people are nearing the mountain where Kralum is. Some type of magic like that. I have a spell just like that actually. Um, um, Such a bird might sense her coming, might sense her presence, and be able to hide me and possibly whoever I'm with, and then
Conceal your approach to the
exactly,
prison.
exactly. If she finds me within range of that mountain, it's her
That's
to
a
pass
bad
them off.
conversation, right? That's a bad conversation.
Yeah, it might not even be a conversation.
Right. Right. Because that is, just to remind our audience, that is something that we're trying ultimately to avoid is the fact that if Verlag gets overly suspicious, she is simply going to imprison Brees until Verlag is ready to act. right now she's sort of allowing Brise freedom to sort of win her favor so that she helps willingly. And whatever the ultimate ritual or process that's required to free Verilag completely and unleash her powers completely upon the world. And so um, the Trinitas, contemplate for a moment, and they say again in that beautiful multi-choral voice, they say that could be invaluable. It is worthy of pursuing.
Okay.
Pooch, just I should call you Pooch. That sounds so terrible. Hugger, yeah, you just blept all over yourself. That's disgusting. Get a towel. You think it's a good time for a break with the Trinitas
Yeah,
having?
I was about to say I wanted to hear that response, and like, cool, that's what we're gonna.
That's right. So well, that's great then. So, gang, we're gonna take a break. Let everyone go and refresh beverages and get their drink on and so on. And we'll be back in just a few minutes. Thanks for hanging out with us.
I'm feeling a bit thirsty myself.
That's oh my, oh dear, may take more than 5 minutes. No, but so but we'll be back in just a few minutes. Please hang with us. Let me actually post while I'm gone. Let me post these bad boys one more time. This is where you can donate. You can look at Max's character, his equipment, and things like that. Okay, it was really weird. It's not letting me post again. Oh, there we go. Whoa, I'm way behind. That's really strange. Okay. Dadgummit, it's not letting me post. That is maddening. All right. Well, if people can find that earlier link up at the top of the chat and post it for me, I'd appreciate that because I am not able to post anything. There's an H. Nope. It's not letting me post an H. So I don't know what's going on. Um, so,
Might
uh,
be resolved by the end of the break. Maybe it's just a down temporarily.
yeah, maybe. So anyway, so guys, we'll be right back. Thanks for watching us and listening and hanging out with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes. So stay tuned and we'll see you in just a few minutes. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Karandrin Role Playing. Thanks for hanging with us through the break. We were talking, Brise, our paladin, was talking with the tiny fey creatures known as the Trinidas about their next plan in terms of how to continue working against the Sorceress Queen Verilag. And the conversation turned to a large bird, magical bird creature that Brise had met in the abandoned city of Brynneloth, um, and um, and how to communicate with that animal and help Brise shield herself from Verlag's ability to find her, such that they might be able to evade whatever traps and defenses might be surrounding the volcanic prison of the demon Kralum. And if you need a recap of all that, then what you just ask people in stream, like just ask people in chat, what the hell's going on? Who are these people? Just do that.
Kevin, is priest I before E or E before I?
It's IEST.
A before E. There we go.
My
They
good
both look correct, but Google says that I before E is correct.
Google, I'm thinking you're searching for a bird that I have created in my fictional world that doesn't exist anymore. What is wrong with you? I'm like, oh no, you're on Google.
That's part of the problem is like the word priest by itself, okay, but priest bird is like, either way looks right because it's a made up word anyway.
Right. It's sort of right. It's a weird noun phrase that you're like, how's that now?
Yeah.
So, is there anything else you need to confront the Trinidad? Oh, confront. I mean, let's not make it hostile. What am I doing here? But is there
cost? I don't think so. Let me go back through my notes real quick. No.
eyes before ears? But how is that a way to remember? Like, in what way are eyes inherently before ears? Do you see Poochhugger's suggestion for a?
Yeah, it was funny because I told you before, Kevin, that I'm reading a book on like the English guide, not English guided guide to clarity and style for writing and for copy editors too. And he basically says ignore that rule because there's so many exceptions to it. You just end up confusing yourself. It's just if you see a word, just like know what it looks like, and then he lists like 10 common examples that just defy that trope.
It's
So
very true, and that's one of the tests I'll give to copy editors is to see. I mean, it really is a matter of memorization for copy editors.
Yeah, just to
Going
see
through.
the word enough times and
Yeah.
remember it. Yeah.
And a great grammar guide, if you're really shaky on grammar, is the Little Brown Handbook, which is what a lot of English 101 classes use. And I found it really.
I actually got a book. I haven't even like looked at it yet, but this is the one I got. It looked very small. That's why I got it. It didn't look like it had a ton of stuff in it. So
the Little Brown Handbook is really great, and Vanderbilt too. If you look at search for Vanderbilt like grammar resource, things like that.
Yeah,
they have a tremendously
detailed
resource on things. And there are things that copy editors still have to look up all the time. I mean, because you can't remember everything, and sometimes you just rewrite a sentence, so you have to avoid, so you can avoid looking something up. You're like,
right.
This is no worse than what he wrote or she wrote, and so they wrote, and so you but anyway, yeah. So that's a great resource too. The Vanderbilt grammar website, but also, like I said, the Little Brown Handbook is exceptional. I've really found it very easy to use. And of course, as a style guide, the proper one to use is the Chicago Manual of Style. That's the one that you should use properly, unless you're in really technical stuff, and then you'll have to follow your profession there. But um, so um, they gave you a little bow. They tell you they'll see you in a few days. They'll continue spying on the Philistan and the goings on um, at in the Vetch, which is of course that hilly area north of this city. It's a very large area, probably I don't know, probably 150 miles across. Um, and all these portals opens before the flower people, and so this green light just spills out, and they float through with the Trinidos, and then it just closes silently.
Bye bye.
That's right. And um, I am saying very, very important in this text right here. Well, that's a way to have an attention grabber right there.
I'm going to send that into my copy editor.
I'm gonna see if I can post now because we couldn't post
That's right.
before the break. It is not letting me post. Weird. That is a pain in the ass. I really don't like not
being. Does it give you any error status or anything? It just says
no. It's like when I hit send, my message just disappears and nothing occurs.
Oh,
and we had that happen.
Broken on the page. Yeah.
I feel like we had that happen before. Maybe I'll try. Let me try this real quick, guys. I hate these technical glitches. They take up so much of our time. We started late last time, so there's a shorter one.
Yeah.
I typed one character before the break and tried to send it. That didn't work either.
You could. I mean, the only thing to try restarting, but then you gotta leave the stream.
So. I would have to leave the stream, and it would take a while anyway. And we are kind of, we've only got probably about 40 minutes before you need to collapse. So, yeah, see, both Twitch and YouTube show they're receiving the stream and everything. Last time I had this problem, it did seem to be there's a problem with Twitch. Twitch couldn't.
Sorry about that.
That's funny.
It was YouTube.
Twitch couldn't receive my post, and then that was fixed midstream, and they start receiving things.
Yeah.
So
YouTube is active, and I'm seeing comments. If you want to, you could just go to the YouTube and post there. That's where the majority of viewers are, anyway.
Right. Right. Well, all right. So I guess it's time for you to pass out. And we move on to the 10th. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is correct.
I always do one roll for events in the night. Nothing goes on to interrupt your slumber. And you need to give me one roll.
69.
All right. That's a typical night's sleep for you. Roll again for
31.
And then roll again for illness.
14.
Okay. You only get
69 was for the dream.
Oh, that is hilarious. That's hilarious. Especially with Aldrich, on the scene, so to speak.
Mind.
So,
dawn of a new day.
Right. You wake up. It's, first light, as this culture is used to waking up around that time. What's on your agenda today, sir?
Well, let's do some preparations for the journey, like I said. Just if you want to do the magic wand, we'll do that. Or we can maybe do that out of the session. But I definitely want to do that sooner rather than later, because I don't know when Adabir is going to be like, let's go. He seems pretty spontaneous. Then the next thing, is there anything on Prethnot's list I can continue to research? Oh, I do want to go to the one library, see if that book is checked back in on the Hennerback. Or at least the book that I thought had a mention on the Hennerback that was checked out.
Okay.
By one of the librarians, by one of the owner of the library's close friends. That was so yeah. I'm trying to find for all the viewers. I'm trying to find information on this the Hennerback tree. There's a book I recall that had a mention of it at a certain library but it was checked out. And I guess in this day and age, or that library doesn't have like records of who checked it out. Apparently, it's a close friend of the owner of the library. So all I can do is hope that it's there now. Sounds like a good use of my miracle roll, doesn't it? Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you've
The book is there, and it has a giant full picture of the Hennerback and all about them.
Wouldn't you rather don't you rather think you should use it for just like finding one in your travels? What do you care about?
That's true. Well, I'm just saying for this session, if we only have 30 minutes left, what can I do believably? There's one growing in the middle of convergence.
Damn it.
I missed it this whole time.
Prethnot is a dummy.
It was a test. Right. You have to find this tree. It's really hard to find.
Yeah, it's an intelligence test. Is that what it is? Kind of a deal.
Are you paying attention? Okay, well, I'll just go by anyway and see it.
Right.
So those two things.
Again, did you guys see the links I posted? I've hopped to YouTube and posted, and I'm trying to do it too. I'm trying to hop to.
I saw that it got posted.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to.
And then the third thing, let's try to find some info on the priest birds, and if there's a way to communicate with them, any kind of spell for speaking with beasts, either a tome or some scroll. I guess I'll just check out the magic shop, the one that I've been to, or pass by the adventuring guild that I'm a part of, and ask around. Any magic users know of those types of spells. So so that's what we're doing today.
Okay, so let's grab a quick bite. What is it? 4 copper?
No, it's 2 copper a meal.
There you go.
And then 2 copper for drink.
There you go. That's what I was thinking.
My alcoholic drinking at like 7 a.m. Wake up, have a beer.
That's right. It's
appropriate in this day and age. All right, don't judge Brise.
That's right. It's also exactly what Max does. So that's all.
Hey, I drink wine. Thank you very much.
But yeah, sorry. So I did post our notes and our donate stuff on both platforms. So you guys are welcome to check that out. Let us know if there are any problems, of course. And if you hop to the donate page and just read the jokes that are there. Honestly, they make me giggle schniggle. So
they say a glass of red wine a day is healthy for you. So obviously 4 must be phenomenal for your health.
When I was in college, so like in the late 90s, they were doing all these really big studies on the benefits of alcohol. And it was crazy. It was a huge 10,000 person study they did. And it was crazy. You had to be so they had like number of ounces of alcohol per day.
Right.
And it was like the 0 to 1 ounces a day was the best. But if once you went to like over 1
ounce.
Lost. And it was like, in terms of health benefits, it was like 8 or 12 different categories. It was really interesting. But once you went over 1, you went to like to 1 to 2.
Yeah.
You lost all the health benefits except for 1. And so my thing is like, wow, it's so on the fence. Like
like 1 ounce too. That's almost done. That's like taking a
that's 1 glass of wine.
Really? How much is an ounce?
1 ounce of pure alcohol. Do you see what
I mean? Okay.
Right? That would be 1 shot of whiskey. They said 1 beer, 1 glass of wine.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
I was thinking of an ounce of wine. I'm like,
who's doing that? What are we in church?
As like a probiotic, if they come in those little tiny bottles sometimes.
Yes.
Like yogurt things. Yeah. I'm like, just use that.
Thanks, Midnight Dawn. I appreciate that. Appreciate you checking on the links.
But that is an interesting study.
It was very interesting. But the note, like cancer dropped and things like that. But I'm like, once you're down to that level of 1 ounce, you're like, If you go over, you lose them all. And by lose them all, I mean you gain health problems. Maybe only by 5 or 6% increases,
Right, right.
but it was
But the
really,
amount
it
of
was
damage you're doing is on average worse than the benefits.
right. And I'm like, and then what are you going to do about things like body size difference and like, a 10,000 person study will cover some of those issues, but man, it
Right.
was just really interesting. And there's been
Yeah,
a number of
that's
studies
cool.
since then, but that was the most thorough one I've seen over the years.
Right. It's
But
comprehensive, yeah.
um,
So yeah, have a meal, have a drink, and
about a half full commons room, no one of particular note.
okay.
Um, who I need to add to my sort of people who might sort of stop in, and that is Mr. Iron,
Right.
because he may be checking in with you.
I'm bringing this place a lot of business.
You are. They come in, and hey, if they just get a drink, then the Tea and Loaf Inn is rocking and rolling, yo.
Yeah.
That's oh, hey, good night,
Yeah.
Quinn.
Night, Quinn.
Love you, man. Hope you keep feeling better, and we'll talk to you soon, buddy. Um, so so yeah, you did you want to just send a helper out? Did you want to hire some kid to go find you like whatever the extra little stuff you need, like torches and
Yeah. Yeah.
so why don't you just private chat me a list, and we'll say you've just hired someone to do that. We'll roll their success off screen, and we'll just keep moving.
Yeah. Yeah. Like later, right? Like, but that's what you mean.
Say
I
again.
can't think of the list off the top of my head right now, unless you
Oh,
want
yeah,
me to.
sure. You can do it later. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was
I'll
thinking.
say it, but then I'll obviously forget something. So
No. Yeah, sure.
send you that list. But we'll say that I do that.
Yes,
And
that is in process.
fill that in. Yeah.
And you can get a big bad. This is hilarious. This is like Roadrunner shit. You're gonna get a big bag of priest bird feed, right? And you're gonna leave it outside your window, just ready to spring on people. Spring on that priest bird, and then you've got it. So
And then an equivalently sized net.
yes, you have to have a large net capable of holding that bastard down. I guess it really has to be weighted. We already know that a priest bird can carry you off,
Yeah.
whether you want it to or not. So I was trying to find, I'm trying to think if I have, like when you're in Convergence, I probably should type a caption for Convergence just so people have a sense of where that city is and sort of its setting in the world. But so yeah, you get that errand, you get that little task done, hire somebody.
By the way, I'm wearing my adventuring gear. That's what I'm planning to do today. Strap on all my stuff.
I just spelled city City, y'all. That's enjoy. That is my stupidity for your entertainment. Keep that in mind. So, oh, sorry, man. Sorry, I'm letting this go silent here too long. But so you head out, swing to the library, ask about that particular volume.
I usually have to pay to get in, so.
Oh, that's right. It's silver.
Gold.
Is it a gold? Oh, wow. Okay. That's that's high.
I'm in silver. Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's right. It's a deal. You're an attractive woman, so they, they give you a break on the price.
All right. That was that same dwarven lady who's been there consistently.
The guard.
Yeah.
But you don't pay the guard. You pay the people inside.
Right. There's like a little box. I think I would leave it. So.
So the
Strap on is not part of my adventuring gear, Don. It's
gross.
a different type of adventure. Um,
So
so yeah, what's the status on that book? Any?
uh, no, the Lord's friend has still not returned it, and of course, one doesn't rush friends. Um, they've had no new volumes in since last you talked to them. That anything that the gentleman can think would be of interest to you, um, and um, and so that's off your list. Um,
While I'm in the library, I know I did a lot of reading yesterday, so I don't know how I feel about it today, but just find any info on the priest birds, on where there might be commonly found, maybe signs, because I'm gonna have to track one down, right?
right.
I want to talk to it, so any
Well, I mean,
info on them?
keep in mind that the area that we talked about before, north of Convergence, is called the Vetch. It's a very hilly, very untamed area. Vetch is a dwarven word that kind of means crap, because the mountains, the hills there have never really yielded very much ore. It's tough travel, it's tough going, so it's never really been a big thriving place of civilization in recent memory. This area of the Vetch, it goes and rises into the mountains,
Mm-hmm.
so it is possible that you will find priest birds in the mountains themselves. Because they're neighboring
Sure.
ecosystems, right? Um, there are books here on sort of encounters with the unusual. Um,
Right. Right.
um, and you swear that this is a new collection that they've brought in of travelers' encounters with strange animals, because you don't recall these at all. In fact, many of them seem newly bound, so probably copied volumes from older texts.
Right. Right.
Which is, if you don't know, how the Renaissance began. It was uh, a guy who
You're
was
saying we're in the Renaissance right now?
where we could be, because it was the Renaissance of Greek and Roman learning,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so what was the guy's name? Father of the Renaissance. What was his name? It's driving me crazy. Huge historical figure, but
First name Renaissance, last name Man.
that's right. Ren. His name was Ren. Man, I can't remember the guy's name.
Renaissance.
But yeah, but he found all these forgotten ancient Greek and Roman texts in his father's basement, in the
Yeah.
basement library.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Why are we not using these?" Because he was trained in classical reading, right?
Right.
Was it Descartes? I don't think it's Descartes. And you missed an S at the end. Dang, I cannot remember the guy's name. He's actually the guy who coined the term Dark Ages, which you shouldn't use because it's historically inaccurate. And he coined the term Renaissance.
You said she missed an S, but then there's a question mark. That was kind of like a squiggly S to me. So
Oh, there you go. That's it. It's
say it's a dual purpose punctuation. There is no punctuation.
not Petrarch. Although, was it Petrarch was sort of. Anyway, I'm going to spend the whole stream just trying to figure out the Renaissance. Thank you.
Sorry for walking into this library.
I know, right?
I was supposed to know I was going to start the Renaissance.
So let's see how far you make it.
Find anything of note?
Right. So remind me, you have an interest in creatures, don't you?
I do.
This is one of the things we do in the game is we roll an adventurer's specific interest so that it helps guide them.
And that's kind of why I'm interested too in this idea of recruiting one, because I'm like, that would be super cool. And exactly what I'm interested in, the betterment,
right,
creatures that'll help society by knowing about them.
So roll for me for your, for how long you stick with a volume.
71.
71.
Not
And
too.
yeah, you hang in there. The text is interesting. You find nothing about priest birds, but it is filled with interesting accounts and descriptions and so on. The accounts are all fairly localized. To the north, so these are encounters along the Penn River, and the Penn River is basically the northern boundary of the Elven states. So it's basically one nation up from you. Now there's our drum roll, and so um, and so it's all in that area. Of
Yeah.
particular interest to you is thanks, Changeling, for the drum roll. Of particular interest to you is the surprising fact that there were known, at least at that time, um, and the dates here are very specific.
Wait, who is known when?
Uh, the,
Oh, about
at the
certain
time of
creatures.
the writing,
Okay.
he refers to the fact, the writer, he or she, uh, love you, Midnight. We'll see you next time, I hope.
Good night.
Um, yeah, so considerably. So this would have been about 3 centuries ago. That
Okay.
at that time it was common knowledge, at least among the learned, that the Penn River had a number of merfolk
Oh, okay.
colonies throughout. It's it's discussed almost like it's formal relations. Kind of had been established, kind of a thing. Hey, Mark, welcome back. Um, and um, and so these merfolk colonies, they apparently have conversations with the governor, with well, it would be the present king, in fact. So this would be around the year, right now we're in the year 738. So this would be around the year 438, 450.
Yeah.
So of the reign of this king. Now, this king is the longest reigning king in Elvish history.
Hmm.
And there's a sense that he could go anytime. I mean, he's in the upper 900s right now.
Are you rolling for it every day?
I
That would be
I should.
a dramatic thing to role play.
That'll be that should be everybody's miracle roll. Does King die? Does King die?
I'm just
King die?
gonna spend all my miracle rolls on that.
That's right.
One in a
Um,
hundred chance.
oh wait, well, do you want to back up and do your miracle roll on this book for the
No,
pre?
I have a better idea.
Okay, great. Oh, well, look at you staying on top of shit. Way to go.
Yeah.
So the so it discusses, like I said, like it's if you know anything, if you've had any sort of learning and you're from this area, then of course you know that there are various, in a sense, sort of smaller merfolk communities
Of course.
along the Penn, right, along the Penn River, which is the northern boundary of present day Elven states. Um, so um, so that's certainly news. Um,
Or not news, old news, but
well, news to you, right?
right,
It's
right.
the only
300-year
type of
old
news.
newspaper.
Um, so
Okay, cool.
there is repeated warnings and a few sketch drawings and so on of descriptions of spirits of the drowned
Hmm.
that are said to be incredibly dangerous. Female spirits, in particular, and the author sort of theorizes that it's from the anguish of their tragic ending, and that a female's emotions empower a spirit more than a man's. Um, and this is going to be an openly chauvinistic society. I mean, there's
Right.
not. I mean,
Of
this is.
course, yeah. That's his theory, yeah.
I mean, that's as I mean, to make it otherwise would just be. I mean, it would be. What am I saying? It would be quite a political modification to
Yeah,
do.
it would be interesting to see, but
Right, right. I'm going to look up the number of matriarchal societies versus patriarchal. My understanding is that the overwhelming number is patriarchal. Um,
right, but that's also because patriarchal societies expanded and colonized much of the other world. So
well, and I would take those into account, though. I don't mean like merely they
sure,
dominate.
sure,
But
sure.
and they're like, I know. I think the Mycenaeans may have been one, and they were hugely
Right,
successful
right.
until like they would have kept the Greeks from developing. There wouldn't have been a Greek golden age,
Mm,
except that a Mediterranean tsunami wiped out their capital.
mm.
So
It's because they were matriarchal.
that's it. That's what it is.
The tsunami was like, nope.
Wait, is that an ant flow joke? So the
So you
um,
talk about the spirits of the drowned. Are they found in the river to? Well, I guess at the time of the book was written, right?
yes, and that there are numerous sightings, and so these are sort of like, and I kind of model these books off of um, um, sort of travel adventures that you would see throughout European writing. Marco Polo being perhaps the most famous of them.
Right.
And he just, of course, lied through his teeth. I mean, God, he lied. He just made up so much crap, like people who hop around on one giant foot and all this kind of stuff, so that he would raise interest in travel to China,
Right. Right.
and then he and his father could profit from that. But you see others all the way especially into the 19th century. You see these travel logs,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and so I sort of thought, that idea would really come alive if those creatures were real. And of course, here in a fantasy setting, the majority of them may very well be real, or some form.
Right. Right.
There's going to be much more truth to them here than there are in our world. And so, um, um, so they're described as wispish. They often lure people near with a cry from help, either from like the shore or from the reeds or from the water itself,
Right.
and then attack viciously physically, either pulling the person into the water, slashing them with claws that are somehow both ephemeral but real. Some A very chilling effect on the soul. The area as you approach them becoming cold, and these sorts of descriptions.
Hmm.
And so that's largely what you take from away from that volume that you can sort of immediately retain. And you can leave yourself notes for the fact that you read these books and so on. And what we'll do is we'll add to your creature lore skill. We'll keep
Yeah.
adding to it when we develop your character for the next level. So um, do you want to consider ending it here?
Well, I don't want to use my. So okay, I'll tell you my idea for
Yeah,
the miracle roll was
yeah.
to go to the. I'm getting an echo, by the way.
It won't show up on the recording. Don't worry about it.
All right, was to go to the venturing guild, ask around for the priest bird, and some guy says, "Yes, I've talked with the priest bird before. Here's how, and I'm willing to help you."
Okay. You find broadly, you mean I find a way to communicate to the priest bird. I acquire a way to
Right.
communicate to priest birds at the Adventuring Guild.
Yes.
And yours is the Crystal Mage, right? The Crystal Maze.
Maze. Yeah.
Crystal
Yeah.
Maze Adventuring Guild, right? I get yours and Ganry's, Josh's character. I get yours and his confused. His is the three torches, and yours is the crystal maze.
Right.
So, all right. So, yeah. So no problem. So that was a couple hours of reading. You hung in there despite your impatience. You make your way. Give me a roll just to navigate the city. Just don't roll exceptionally low.
How about a 9?
A 9. It takes you a really long time to get
Guess we're
there.
playing for another 30 minutes. Me getting
There you go. This is a midnight dawn left, and this is a midnight long session. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, you get turned around. I mean, that's basically it.
Okay.
Been
there enough times to.
You do see in passing, especially when you get lost, particularly in the area where you get lost. You see, you remember that criminal back in the day, that kind of alley dweller who kind of approached you?
Which one?
He worked for
a guy, and I confronted him about it.
I think so. He was. You never got his name, but he was. He worked for a guy named Long Tom.
Yeah, he was attacking a guy, and the guy being attacked was a forger. He specialized in doing forgeries.
Okay.
And then as a favor, I think he forged something for me, which I can't remember, and which I probably should remember.
It's fine if you don't want to make use of resources you worked hard to acquire. I understand.
So that guy.
But you see him. He's hanging out at an alley. He catches your eye, and you may remember he kind of offered you a job. Like, hey, do you want to? Like, he was trying to like fish for your interest in joining his, well, of course, Long Tom's gang.
Yeah. Okay.
And you're like, I don't want any part of that, but he kind of gives you and catches your eye and kind of gives you a nod and then kind of gives you a look like, change your mind kind of a thing, I
mean, all I need to do is just like turn away, like make a face and turn away and keep going, right?
Well, I mean, you can give him a nod and then just shake your head. I mean,
oh yeah, that yeah.
Yeah, all right. I mean,
no interaction with him as little as possible.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can obviously take him. You took him once before, and and he was a little unnerved by you anyway. So yeah, it was crazy.
That's
I rolled really high.
Yeah.
For an encounter, and it was a neutral encounter. I'm like, all right, well, that could go either way then. And so I thought, he's kind of logical. Is that who it is? And that was really high. Then I rolled, if he spotted you, that was a double aught. And so he totally just caught your eye and was like, hey, let's just giving you a nod, which is sort of like a professional courtesy. So, he could have just, shanked you. And,
right. Or just like stopped me in the street. So.
Right. So you finally make it there. There's very few people here at the maze and at the Crystal Maze. But hey, somebody might know something. Make your roll.
59.
Oh, there it is. Well, God, we forgot to do the drum roll again. I am sorry, guys. I think I'm gonna be a better host. We should have
tried again with the drum roll.
I really wouldn't mind doing that, guys. Let's all give a drum roll because this is the miracle roll from Max's session. We're gonna give him another try because I was a bad host. So let's get some drum rolls up on the chat. And if you've forgotten, a miracle roll comes true, and his is that he acquires a way to communicate with these priest birds, which have helped him in the past. Were you warming up? And so let's get some drum rolls up on the chat for him to roll. No one cares. No one loves you, Max. This is exactly why the terrorists are winning.
That's fine.
There we go.
Thanks, Karen.
Obi-Wan, way to go. Well, hey, you know what? Hers has Lady Luck beside it. She's at least lucky in love, if nothing else. So,
I don't know what that is, but I'm going to roll it, and it's 94.
There you go. So much better. Woo. What did I tell you? So no luck there, but...
Wait, is that a 4? Oh, sorry. That's... wait, no.
It was a 0 and a 0. I just forgot how to read. Also, there's a Hinterback tree in the middle of Convergence.
That's right.
So all right, so we could pick up, and we could actually do some of this off screen to do some of your like shopping and stuff like that,
Yeah, I'll
Max.
definitely send you the list of mundane supplies and
Right.
things that I
And
want.
we could even roll through some of the stuff on at the some of your prep stuff we could kind of do and move us
Just dialogue.
closer.
Yeah.
And so good job, Karen. We appreciate it. We really do. And so well, I don't know. Say goodbye to these nut jobs, Max, because you got to go to bed, man.
I do. Yeah. Thanks everybody for coming out. We got still 8 people watching. It says so. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your drum rolls. And yeah, a lot of information. A lot of just kind of hunting around, talking to people this session. But it was good. It was like no news is good news when it comes to the master. And that's kind of what happened. Is just like stuff kind of went smoothly.
That's right.
Crazy.
That's right. We are sort of headed toward a long action phase
Right. Of traveling. So
of the travel, and then like sort of how is this going to be at this goblin noblewoman's estate, and you know um, what task will there be to perform to try to locate Kralum's prison,
right.
where the demon Kralum is trapped above the mouth of a volcano. And so we'll be getting closer and closer to that, and to see Adabir's relationship with this goblin noblewoman. I think all that'll be very interesting. But also, my thanks to everybody who joined us tonight and hung through the break and everything. It's good to see our regulars come back. I hope you're still enjoying things. And we really do appreciate everything you guys do, and your funny comments.
We appreciate your money more though. So
Yeah, sure, go to the donate, and you can go to the donate stuff. I'm gonna try to post our links one more
I'm
time.
just kidding. We love you guys.
That's true. And but all the typical stuff like subscribe, follow, but almost more importantly, spread the word. If you know people who enjoy interesting storytelling in a very involved world, and fantasy, then then I hope this can be a home from them. They can join us. They can join us week after week. So we might be aiming for a makeup session for Josh tomorrow. That's not cast in stone, but we'll. But nonetheless, it's more important just for us to get the content out there and have it up for you guys to watch as you will. Um, and um, and then of course we're back to our regular Tuesday and Wednesday schedule. Ganry, our buddy Josh, on Tuesdays, um, and Wednesday we'll be back with Brise and Max's struggle to get free of the Dark Queen Verilag. But again, thanks to everybody. Like, subscribe, spread the word, and we thank you all. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.